What's up, guys? It's Dim from Healing Teas, and what I want to talk to you about today is the concept of latitude and why it's so important and how to integrate latitude into your life. Now, what is latitude? Latitude, in essence, is height, right? It's elevation. So, latitude, in the context that I'm referring to it as, is if you've got your current situation, latitude is a third perspective or I guess, a higher look at your current situation. Yeah. So so there's a lot of advantages, I guess, with latitude, and I think the best way to describe those advantages is that there's a book called the Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's quite famous. Now, in that book, Stephen Covey describes the difference between management and leadership, and I think basically what leadership brings is latitude. So I think this example really kind of demonstrated. Um, Imagine 10 guys walking through a jungle, right? Like an army team walking through a jungle. And, they've all got machetes and they're all kind of hacking their way through the jungle, right? Now, what a good manager does is he looks at say, for example, the rate that the machetes are getting blunt, right? He looks at the rate that they're getting blunt, and he makes sure the guys at the back are sharpening machetes at the adequate rate that they always have sharp machetes at the front, to keep cutting it while, to maximize the efficiency of the advance forward, because you've got kind of the machete staying sharp. He's probably also looking at the rate that the soldiers are getting tired, for example. That way, you can keep swapping around the soldiers, so you always got like fresh soldiers, plenty of strength, sharp machetes going forward. He'll probably look at the rate of the depletion of water bottles and whatever. He'll make sure that everyone's kind of well equipped, everyone's getting good sleep, and keeps I guess that's really what a manager does. He keeps it efficient, he keeps it running, he keeps the hamster wheel running as efficiently as possible. Now, I think a lot of guys out there, whether they be entrepreneurs or they be in corporate, they may say they're hustling, but all they're fucking doing is just keeping that hamster wheel efficient. And a lot of what people are lacking is actually fucking latitude. And what latitude is this? Imagine those guys fucking walking through the forest, cutting the branches. What latitude is the guy that fucking climbs up the tree and looks at the overall situation and goes, guys, we're in the wrong forest, we're in the wrong jungle. That's what latitude is, and that's what a leader does. A leader steps back, he looks from a higher point, and he looks at where we are and where we're trying to get to, and he gives you direction, and he's able to provide that third perspective. You might realize, oh fuck, this jungle's burning down, we need to get the fuck out of this jungle, fucking abandon the mission. He gives you that third perspective on things that you may not see when you're on the ground just fucking cutting through the bush. So that's kind of what latitude is, and I hope I've kind of described it adequately, and how you can apply it in your life is through a technique I actually learned in Africa, which was from someone I was staying with in Africa, called having a meeting with yourself. And that's something I do on a regular basis. I typically do it on Sundays. Now, what does that mean, and how do you get to a point where you can have a meeting with yourself? What having a meeting with yourself is basically looking at your goals and seeing if you're actually tracking towards your goals and making course corrections towards your goals. That's what you do in a meeting with yourself. But how do you even get to a point where you know what the fuck to like what your goals are, or you even want to talk about? I guess it's a bit of a left field from this video, but hopefully it's useful anyway. Here's how I would do it, and here's how I do it. Take a second and just think about all the dope shit that you want to achieve. Just anything that sounds fucking lit, that sounds good to you. I reckon grab a fucking notebook and pen and write that shit down. Write it down, and think about the different facets of your life, right? So what sounds lit from a monetary perspective? You might write being loaded, right? Or you might write having a Lambo, whatever it is, right? So start scribbling down, from a monetary perspective, from a financial perspective, what sounds lit. From a family perspective, like what's your vision of a good family life? Like, what does that look like? from a career perspective, you know, if you're into that stuff, from a body, like a fitness perspective, if you're into that stuff, that's kind of what you want to write down, your definition of what is lit, right? And that will form your vision. Don't worry about the practicality, don't worry about the how, don't worry about the when. Just write down the what, like the what you want to achieve first, right? Now, before I move on, the next thing you want to do before you actually break it down and all that stuff, you want to write down the why, right? So you've written down the what, which is like the higher level lit shit in the different facets of your life. You want to write down the why, like why does this motivate you, like in the different areas, like what are all the pleasurable things and the feelings and you know, what's so good about having that stuff, and really put all your love and joy and whatever you've got into that, right? Make it really exciting, the stuff that you want to achieve. Really lace it with excitement, and I'll get to why later. The next thing you want to do is you want to get specific about the actual, like the visions that you've made, right, in the different facets of your life. So let's say, for example, your vision for body is, I want to be fit as fuck, right? So what you want to do is define what the fuck fit as fuck means to you, right? So you essentially want to go, okay, fit as fuck means six pack, right? And just have an estimate of what the body fat is, right? Because you want to get some metrics. It's actually a lot easier to hit a target when you know what the fucking target is, right? And this target's quite specific. So write down the body fat percentage, for example, in terms of body. And now there's kind of fitness and there's health, right? So maybe health means for you, maybe there's physical health and mental health. And kind of like, what does mental health mean? Clear mind. Does physical health mean you feel vibrant, you know? So really get specific and break down that vision into specific metrics. So again, the body is an example, is you want to have 8% body fat. You want to weigh, say, whatever, 90 kilos, 200 pounds, and you want to have like a decent amount of muscle, maybe enough to fit into this shirt, like a large shirt, or whatever that metric is for you. You want to write that down, so you really get specific about the vision points, right? So from a financial perspective, it might be, I want to be loaded as fuck. You want to turn that into, I want to earn $10,000 in income per month, and maybe it's passive income, you know, and then you want to, maybe you want to have a couple of businesses, I don't know, but get specific about it. That's the second thing. The third thing is you want to write down, that's the third thing, right? Because the first thing is the vision, second thing is the why, and then the third thing is get specific. The fourth thing is add parameters, add time parameters, right? Add down just a cheeky guess how long you reckon it's going to take. Like, let's say you believe you're overweight and you want to get down to a six pack. Maybe you're going to put 6 months to a year, right? Write the parameters. The fifth thing you want to do then is you want to find someone who has achieved what you're going for, right? A subject matter expert. So, and the reason being is because they're going to help you figure out the how. So, all due respect, I probably won't choose a homeless person to tell me about how to become a multimillionaire. I'd either try to fucking meet and develop a mentoring relationship with a multimillionaire, and I'll do a separate video on that later. Or maybe I'll find books by multimillionaires who I really respect. You know, whatever they may be. I will find some kind of mentoring resource, whether they be audiobooks, books, YouTube videos, people, whatever the fuck, conferences, whatever. You find them, right? You find the subject matter expert. So with the fitness one, right? Maybe it's best to find a personal trainer who has your results, but also probably has your genetics. Yeah. So you know that they've kind of maybe gone through similar struggles and they can advise you on that. So you want to find those subject matter experts. And obviously, if you don't have much money, just start with YouTube or start with, you know, books or whatever, right? Then from there, which I think was the fifth step, you want to actually write down the how, right? Like, you write down the how. They will help you figure out a plan on how you're going to do it, right? And you want to get quite specific on the plan, right? And maybe you won't know the entire plan, maybe you won't know the entire staircase, but you know what the first couple of steps are going to be, right? So basically, now you've got your vision, your why, the specifics, the time frame, and from your knowledge of what you need to do, like how how you're actually going to do it, you can actually break that. So let's say, for example, you've given yourself say a year to get to a six pack, and someone's told you, okay, how you're going to get to a six pack is you need to be in a caloric deficit, and you need to do high intensity interval training, and you need to do compound exercise at the gym. You want to have these kind of supplements, and this is what your macros kind of should look like. Like, let's say someone gives you something like that. So then what you want to do is go, okay, yep, I'm happy with, like, revisit your time estimates and go, yep, you know what, I'm happy with 1 year. Break down what at 6 months, what's the milestone, like where should you be around 6 months, like what does that look like by 6 months, where do you want to be at? Then take that and go, well, what do you want to be at 3 months, 1 month, then you got to go, what do you want to do in week 4, week 3, week 2, every week by week, what do you need to do? Then by the end of all that shit, you should be able to go, daily, these are the daily things I need to do. So a quick example of what I've actually got on my daily goals, I've got cycle, high intensity interval training at 6:30 a.m. I've got meditate for 10 minutes. I've got read, and I've in brackets, I've written the book that I'm currently reading. I'm currently reading from Unleash the Power Within, which is Tony Robbins' seminar. I'm currently reading his the seminar booklet, rereading it. So I've got that. I've got there's a training program I'm currently doing with Brandon Carter. So I've written that in there. I've written the gym exercises I want to do for the day. And then I've written like some work related stuff. So there you go. So that's kind of what I've got to do each day. And kind of for the 5 days of the week, I've written down the specifics of what do I need to do each day, based on the breakdown that I've came from, right? You've got that. Then during the week you just hustle. During the week you're just cutting. You're just the guy with the fucking machete, just fucking putting in the work, doing it as efficiently as possible, getting it done, right? Like that's what you're doing during the week. And then come the weekend, you have the meeting with yourself, right? And you go, okay, here's how I fucking progressed with the daily goals that I had, and for example, you might realize, fuck, I've actually really bitten off a lot more than I can chew. I need to knock some stuff down. Or you might realize, fuck, I'm actually nailing this stuff. I could probably accelerate some of my goals, and maybe I can do a little bit more, right? Whatever that might be, you can do the course corrections there, and you can see what's working for you, what's not, and also have a look, at some metrics. For example, are you actually losing the body fat that you reckon you'll be losing? Are you actually looking different in the mirror? So is it effective what you're doing? You're looking at the effectiveness, and or you can also look at the efficiency. So is it efficient for me to cycle at 6:30 in the morning when my bus is at 7? No, you know what? Maybe I need to start waking up earlier. I need to start waking up at 6 so I can cycle at 6:15. Therefore, I have enough time to get ready for my bus so I don't miss my bus or whatever it's going to be. And that's going to mean that I need to sleep just a little bit earlier. I'm going to sleep half an hour earlier. And those are the kind of tweaks that you can make from a latitude level, because that's what that weekly meeting is. It's just giving you that latitude to one, ensure that you're able to achieve your week by week hustle, and you're also able to you're also actually tracking in the direction that you want to track. So that's kind of it, guys. Like that's what latitude is, and that's kind of how you can kind of implement it with like what I call a meeting with yourself, and I try to do that on a regular basis. So hope you really enjoy the video. Man, any questions, just fucking leave it in the comment section below. I do actually check all that shit. So yeah, leave it for me, and thanks very much for checking it out. Good luck.